I have become completely convinced that Inside is actually a critique Bo Burnham is making of his own fan base. I say that as one of his biggest fans. I rewatched it recently, and I feel like almost every song has a second layer of meaning. A turning point where Bo Burnham turns the camera on his audience and points out that his content is designed to make you feel smart. It's often self-indulgent intellectual masturbation, and we are a little hypocritical for so blindly drinking it in. We have put Bo Burnham in a difficult position, and across this special there is almost a story arc of Bo reclaiming his voice and rebelling against his audience. And I am going to show you this alternate interpretation, because I actually enjoy Inside a lot more now that I've noticed Bo Burnham was definitely making fun of me. This is one of the first songs from Inside, and in it, Bo Burnham uses a laugh track kind of sarcastically.
Planet's heating up. What the f*** is going on?
I think the point that Bo Burnham is making is that this line isn't that funny, but he's maybe worried that people would laugh at it anyway. It's entirely carried by just having a curse word in the middle, and if you removed that curse word, there is no humor in this sentence. I think a huge part of the underlying thesis of this special is that people want to feel like they are experiencing subversive content, but they don't really want to be challenged that much. And Bo points that out when he does the Socko the Sock Puppet song. Socko the Sock Puppet just tells you a bunch of generic critiques of the world. Ooh, capitalism is bad. Oh, everything you learned in history class was wrong. That's not really subversive at all. It's Sesame Street level critiques of our society, and I think that's the point of having a sock puppet sing it. The real important part of this song is when Socko goes too far and actually starts saying challenging thoughts. Bo Burnham threatens to rip him off his hand and send Socko back into the void, in the same way that Bo Burnham's fans will turn off the TV if Bo actually threatens their worldview in any meaningful way. I think Bo views himself as Socko the Sock Puppet. He is the illusion of an external entity saying profound things, when really he is just our own opinions thrown back in our face. We are puppeting him. And he's tired of it because people are so hypercritical. Not just his fans, but people in general get off on finding fault in other humans.
I'm problematic. He's a problem.
This song is blatantly sexual, but it's a discussion of cancel culture. Bo Burnham is sexually teasing you with the idea of canceling him. He's saying, ooh, I'm problematic in like a naughty girl kind of way. I'm not one to normally complain about cancel culture, but I do think there was an overzealous way in which people got too excited about cancellations. I think most cancellations were totally deserved. But even if someone deserves to be canceled, it should be sad when you find out a celebrity you liked is actually a horrible human, not this pseudo-sexual vindictive gratification. I think the truth of it is that coming out of the 2010s, there was an immense amount of white guilt floating around. Rich white people feel bad for being rich white people. So the best thing they can do is find someone above them and point the finger at that person. It's a way where upper middle class white people can role play as if they are the underclass and alleviate some of their guilt. And Bo Burnham points out that people are so guilty of feeding their own egos off of tragedy. For example, the song White Woman Instagram. Most of the song is just Bo Burnham making very surface level jokes about, haha, white women post funny pictures on Instagram. But I think the real commentary in it is this one verse in the middle, where Bo Burnham embodies a woman whose mother recently died.
Been a decade since you've been gone. Mama, I miss you. I miss sitting with you.
Here, the character he is portraying is using her mother's hypothetically very real and tragic death as an excuse to call attention to herself. It's ego validation off of a tragedy. The exact same type of performative activism that people claim to hate. They don't notice that they are also doing it themselves. That's perhaps what bothers Bo the most, is the hypocrisy of people. And I think the most hilariously misunderstood song that typifies all these points is Welcome to the Internet. I have seen a lot of people interpret this song as a critique of the chaos of the internet, but I kind of think Bo Burnham is making fun of people for getting addicted to that chaos. There is an entire verse that most people seem to skip over.
You, insatiable you, it was always the plan to put the world in your hand.
That is such a hilariously corny line, and Bo starts laughing after it. He's laughing at you, the internet user, because that line was pandering, and that's what the internet is. The internet is a place where you go to hear exactly what you want to hear. And then, the same people who do that will complain about how terrible the internet is. There is a deep hypocrisy in complaining about the internet on the internet. At any point, you can just put your phone down. You are not trapped inside the internet. But Bo Burnham is trapped. And here's where we're going to get to perhaps my most outside-the-box tinfoil hat theory. I think the whole thing where Bo is trapped in this room is not really about the pandemic. It's a visual metaphor for the way that Bo is trapped inside our perception of him. The reason I believe this is largely because of cinematography. There are three really important reflexive qualities that Inside has. One is the image of the camera. It appears at the beginning and right before the final song, both times with this infinite blackness inside the lens. Obviously, the camera represents us, the viewer. We are looking through the camera at Bo, and our gaze at Bo through this camera has power. You're probably familiar with the concept of male gaze. It's the idea that a camera can become a man's eyes, compartmentalize a woman's body, and dehumanize her. But gaze is a broader concept than that. It is the idea that a camera always has power over its subject because the subject cannot look back at you. Almost the entire special is shot in these very wide-angle, distant shots where we are safe and far from Bo, and the room looks large compared to him. This all changes right at the very end of the special during this song. All of a sudden, we are extremely close up. Bo's eyes are uncomfortably staring at us, and Bo is starting to reclaim some power as he finally speaks in a much more honest and very different way from the beginning of the special.
You say the ocean's rising like I give a shit. You say the whole world's ending, honey, it already did.
Bo is no longer pandering. I think he is totally aware of the importance of global warming, but he's admitting that on a personal, emotional level, that's not really what he's invested in, and he's tired of being forced to pretend like he cares about every single issue. And now he physically grabs the camera. Remember, we are the camera, and he is manhandling us. For the first time, we are not in a distant tripod shot. We are flailing around through the air, and our gaze leaves Bo. We are now vulnerable. He can see us, but we cannot see him. This is Bo literally claiming agency over his audience. And this all culminates with the very unusual way that this special winds down. This shot of Bo Burnham leaving the room could have been the final shot. It perfectly mirrors the opening of the special, and it gives a wholesome message as if Bo has escaped this room and now he's gonna go be in the world. But Bo decides to undermine this ending, because now we cut to the other side of the door, and Bo is on stage, and he begins to panic. He tries to get back inside, and the audience starts laughing at him. Earlier, Bo explained that he took a break from performing because he was getting anxiety attacks on stage. So in this moment, he is performing an anxiety attack, but potentially also really having one. This special has always been about performativity, about how people take issue with it, about how it's phony, but what if performativity is a reflection of reality? I think in this way, he is calling out that our obsession with authenticity is stupid. Everything is performative. We should give each other a break. We are creating our own prisons in this world. There's one more shot at the end of the special. We see that Bo is watching himself suffer with us, and at the very last second, he smiles. There are so many ways you can interpret this smile. It could be his mounting insanity as he watches himself suffer, or his joy as he finally finishes this special. But I think the funniest way you can read into it is that it's just intentionally vague. It is left open-ended so that people like me can indulge in our fantasies as being intellectual art critics. We obsess over his content and paint Bo as a genius, but really vicariously we are making ourselves feel smart. And even me pointing that out is another layer of attempting to make myself feel smart. So I am going to avoid the infinite loop of self-awareness and just end this video with a callback. Here it goes. And that's why Bo Burnham is actually critiquing his own fans. Hopefully that's good enough for you all. Have a great day.
Look, I made you some content.
I hope you liked the video. There is a buttload of extra content that I cut and thoughts I have on basically every single song from Inside. I'm going to be compiling all that into a sort of podcasty-esque follow-up to this video, and if you're interested in that, hit the join button below to check out some of my neat subscription-y options. If not, I sincerely appreciate you watching this entire video, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.